to Anila from Kid Around Town.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I can't tell. Okay. Good morning. My name is Anila Kumar, and I am co-founder of Kid Around Town, which is a mobile app for families that helps them turn screen time into family time. This is just a little bit about myself. I have a background in advertising and design, and kind of Kid Around Town is sort of the amalgamation of everything that I am. I used to love to scrapbook and travel as a child, and sort of bringing that back through the use of technology, which I also love. And I also have a technical co-founder partner who does all of the development. So this is usually asked at the end of the presentation, but I just wanted to kind of give this to you up front, so as you're seeing what I'm about to show you, you kind of have through this lens. So I really am hoping to help understand what you think is our purpose, because it will help me when I go out and message to families. I'd also like to just get your initial questions, ideas, be critical so that we can become a better app. And then again, if this is something that resonates with you, I'd love for you to use it with your family or share it with your family and friends so that they may use it. And lastly, as I go into the demonstration, basically looking for any business introductions that you may be willing to extend, and you'll kind of see why that makes sense soon. And lastly, I want to actually talk to you guys and understand what you're all up to and how I might be able to help you in any way that I can, because I like to do that. So the mission of Kid Around Town is really to help kids and adults turn their addiction to these iPhones and video games and screens in general, to kind of turn it on its head and use it as a positive tool to create lasting family memories while families go out to different attractions and explore the physical world. Basically, the mobile app is a kid-friendly travel guide that offers photo and trivia scavenger hunt experience for kids to really record those memories and be the ones that are, taking those photos from their point of view, so it's really truly their own experience, their memories. And here's where I'd like to break quickly to show you a video of how it works, which I will voice over. So like I said, it's a kid-friendly travel guide, so it's all these cool places to go. We've started with Minneapolis as our first test market. Then a child can choose where they want to go, and they just simply shake the phone to complete challenges, which include, as you'll see, answering trivia questions, so that's actively engaging them to look around and interact with the physical world, taking their own photos, taking photos that we suggest to them to take, as well as writing little notes so that they can really remember those moments. And then over time, they're earning passports for their, they're earning stamps for their passport of all the places they've been to, as well as disguises for their Kid Around characters, so that, kind of gamifying it and encouraging use, and they can kind of play around and really, create whatever they want out of this. And then lastly, it's ultimately about having this ability to look back on those memories in an easy way. Because right now we take thousands of photos, they sit on our phone, and that Photos app is basically a cemetery. So what we've done is we automatically populate a photo book that parents can then email out to themselves and share with grandma, grandpa, and family. And I think that was that. Apple cue. So a little bit about our user benefit and our business model. They're obviously tied together. So like I said, our goal is to really serve families by helping them empower their kids to choose where they want to go, to lead the mission, and to really take control of that memory creation process. And then, like I just said, sort of solving that photo organization, scrapbooking process for mom and dad, which generally takes months to really find the right photos, put them in an antiquated, solution that currently exists, and get something nice at the end of it. And then for businesses, we kind of are looking at a Yelp model in the sense that while we're starting as a travel guide, it's sort of editorial content. Businesses can then claim their missions so that they can create content and continue to kind of keep that content fresh as, say, the Science Museum, gets new exhibits. They can add new trivia questions, add new photo hunts, so it engages users and gets them coming back for repeat visits. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Anila. We will open this up to the community for questions.
This appears to be looking at young kids, 3 to 6 to 9, somewhere in there. Do you have ideas down the road for expanding to middle school or something like that?
Yeah, so right now we're targeting probably ages 0 to 11, 12. By that age, kids start wanting their own social media accounts. And I say 0 because, as you could see in some of those photos, that's my 2-year-old son. He can't use a phone even though he thinks he can. So I'm using it, and it's helping me and some of our other users in that respect. And of course, the design is obviously targeted towards younger kids. And absolutely, one of our other eventual goals would be to work with schools on field trips. So that would then kind of get the middle school, high school market. And a lot of people have said, our age have said, I want that. So one day.
How do you generate revenue?
So the 2 revenue models are, again, just targeting who our users are. So from families, our plan is to, as you saw that digital photo book, is to sell that high-res PDF for an in-app purchase. And then eventually down the line, our goal would be for a family to be able to actually just print that out and get a physical book. And that's my real true vision, is that every family in America and around the world will have their bookshelf filled with their kid around town adventures. As well as and then on the business side, it's that claiming of their mission, sort of that Yelp model of, okay, you can own that space for a small fee. You can update the missions, as well as we can then provide you data analytics and do co-marketing in a sense.
Are you just in Minneapolis right now?
Right now we are just in Minneapolis, and our goal is, like I said, to take over the world. But starting with what we know, we just launched in June, so we're just really getting out there and starting to talk with families and businesses and really kind of find that final, ultimate, what we will be, so that we can then replicate.
How many app downloads or users do you currently have?
We have roughly around 200, 300. We've done a few small one-to-one marketing events where we've done a bunch of different tech events here in the Twin Cities, and then a few events where we can speak with moms and dads and families and show them the app. And so we're starting small.
Are participating businesses contributing some perks to this for families?
That would absolutely be part of the goal of me talking with these businesses, to see if I can get some couponing or things like that, where they would kind of incentivize use of the app as well.
In your presentation, you talked about the iOS features.
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning on being agnostic with Android, Google Play, fill in the blanks of whatever other Play stores that are available?
We absolutely hope to be. We're starting to collect, lists of folks that ask that question. We're a 2-person team, so we had to start somewhere, and so that was kind of what we knew, and what the data showed to us, at least, that we should start there. And absolutely, we plan to open it up and looking at different frameworks and code bases to help us do that quickly.
So I might have missed it in your presentation, but the app looks pretty developed and looks great. It looks very usable and user-friendly, and I could see my kids enjoying it. And I just looked it up, and it looks like it's free. Is that right?
That's correct,
to download
yes.
and install. So, but apps obviously are pretty expensive to maintain and to build. Talk about, did you have background doing that, or how did you have this accomplished? Obviously, that would be your biggest overhead, I'm guessing, is unless you have some point at Salesforce going out and promoting this,
Right.
that's potentially your biggest overhead is app development, and then also the maintenance of it.
Correct.
How do you do that?
So we are bootstrapping. Like I said, we're a two-person team. We are absolutely bootstrapping. I have a design and marketing background and business background, so I handle all of that, and my partner does all of the development. And so that's sort of how we've kind of split our business marriage, if you will. And now we're slowly starting to try to bring on additional staff to help us so that we can move a little faster. Well, our hope is if our hypothesis is that parents will pay for a digital or a physical book, and if businesses are willing to pay for kind of these extra premium features that we can provide to them, then we intend to keep that app free.
Are businesses responsible for creating the content, the trivia questions, talking about the area they're in and creating the experience?
Yeah, so right now it's all hand curated, and that would be the eventual goal. We have a CMS, a content management system, whereby we can provide access to a business to kind of update their information. So similar how on Yelp, a business can pay to basically have management access of their listing so that they can respond to reviews and add their own photos, add their own slideshows, et cetera, so that they have a little more control over what is happening on that page. In that same way, we would offer that same ability.
Do you think the physical book that
Yes.
you'd be printing is that where the main source of income would be?
That's what we're trying to decide. We're trying to figure out. I do believe, based on the parents that we've spoken with, that that's a big hurdle for many families, that they go on vacation and they have all these photos and, you know, mom and dad probably doesn't even think about having to do this, to be honest. And then it, you know, lands on mom's to-do list, and it just keeps always never happening. Like I still have photos.
Would you plan on starting with Shutterfly or a company like that?
Yeah, so we would definitely partner with an on-demand printing company. I don't know if Shutterfly would be the right fit, but we have been talking with a few different printing companies to make that happen. I don't know if Shutterfly has that specific capability, but it's something that I will look into. Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Groovebook as a possibility?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
then you were at beta.mn?
I was, yes.
Pretty good reception there, right?
Yes, it was very fun.
Have you, last one, just because these are quick. So go on a family vacation, absolutely no kids involved. I know, big time bummer. But, and come back and somebody wants to create a book for the grown-up kids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see potential evolution there?
Absolutely. There we are, as we've been researching, there are a few apps that kind of target the millennial market, or, you know, the plus 20 market, I guess you could say. So we want to kind of work in this niche market for now, but the structure is absolutely applicable, and even some people that I've spoken to that are my age have said, I want to go on missions, I want to, you know, earn stamps and play with disguises, and it's like, we're getting there. No one's stopping you from downloading the app and going to the Science Museum.
You mentioned that the data says iOS is the right way to start. Could you share a little bit about what the data says about iOS applications coming on first, and also what your timing would be for bringing on Android and other applications?
Sure. I'm just trying to, my mind is like racing to see what data points I don't have any off the top of my head. But we basically did some initial like surveys, you know, through our networks to kind of decide which one are we going to start with first. It's also the devices that we use. But basically the intent was that this app is for both kids and their parents. And with every new generation of a phone, mom and dad needs to do something with their old phone, and that usually by around 9 years old, a child gets that old phone. As with regards to timing as to when we will move to Android and Windows and other platforms, it's TBD. We are still working to push out a few key features, and then based on some additional testing, we will then move to kind of other cities and the programming of different platforms. So it's still TBD. Like I said, 2-person team, just launched, so we know we have a long way ahead of us, but our goal is to kind of just take it baby step, day by day, and just tackle our to-do lists. Yes?
Yes, I'm curious about your user testing. Like, how have you been experimenting? I assume it's the end users, actually the parents, as much as the children at this point. Is that correct? And then how are you testing their satisfaction and making changes and pivots and things?
So the question was, how are we doing user testing? We're doing a bunch of different things. One, we've done surveys to parents to kind of just understand sort of their needs in this space, as well as to kids. And then we do testing parties. So we invite families to different places that are in our app to actually go and use the app and kind of just, start kidding around, basically. And we watch them, we go up, we talk to them, we ask them what they like, what they don't like, and then we ask them to do an exit survey. And from that, we actually totally scrapped our original user experience to come to this.
I want to say just very fun.
Thank you.
What a wonderful project. And I come from a homeschooling background myself, and families that did it in a really creative kind of way. And I think that particular population would just be biting at the bit for something like this, because that's how people address learning, wanting the kids to really take charge of their own discovery, and so just want to suggest that as a possible outreach for you.
That's absolutely on our radar, just as schools are, traditional schools, kind of that format, as well as homeschooling. We've been talking with, and I'm actually trying to figure out any introductions that you may have to that network would be fabulous.
How do attractions make it into your app?
So right now, it's basically been me curating. So I do research, I go to places, and we've started to see a trickle in of people that are using our app ask, oh, do you have this, or when will this be in? And so kind of prioritizing based on user feedback. And then also as well as businesses coming and reaching out and saying, hey, we're not in the app, and why not? And so then that opens up and invites conversation for us.
Become more than just a 2-person team. Who are your next people you're bringing on board?
Our next team members would be additional design support, probably someone that has sales background, as well as an Android developer, as it seems to be the theme here. And then really someone that we could kind of champion as our chief education officer in a way, so to kind of bridge that lack of knowledge that I have with the education industry, I guess, if you will, so that we can start getting into schools.
Have you thought of crowdsourcing any of the data or attraction data?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the features, to kind of allow families to add their own custom attraction, custom photo ideas, so that they can challenge other kids and challenge other people with trivia. Absolutely. At the end of the day, you kind of just have to say, let's ship before you keep implementing feature after feature. And so those are also on our roadmap.
Any last question? Maybe you kind of answered already, but is there anything else that's going to be for you?
Like I said, if you wouldn't mind just telling me, your understanding, if you could regurgitate that back to me, just so I might be able to steal some of those words for our marketing. And then, everyone kind of had some great ideas today, so I very much thank you for that. And like I said, if there's anyone that you think might benefit from using our app or being in our app, please send them my way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Again, stick around, hang out, network, work here. We have great Wi-Fi. There's plenty of donuts in back, coffee. There's going to be food trucks starting at 11. You can become a member. We'll buy you lunch. And look for Odium Outdoors. Mikolai, raise your hand. Odium Outdoors is going to be in the Pioneer Press business section this coming Sunday. We highlight an entrepreneur every Sunday, so look for that. And otherwise, just have a great week. And thanks, everybody, for participating in this community.